Warsaw holds.
Wow.
Whew. Oh, the Commonwealth must have felt that one. 62,000 men deficit.
Meanwhile, all of Scandinavia and northeast Russia is getting sieged.
Oh yeah, I mean that might have been a victorious battle for Prussia, Commonwealth, Saxony and Brunswick, but all the while, right, it's not like the other nations are just stopping their advance because of that. Commonwealth's getting sieged to high heaven, and that's why they're enjoying -14 war score and all of this. On top of that, yeah, their war exhaustion is rising up, but not too much. Lucky Saudi's got optimism and he's Defender of the Faith, so that's helping out. Okay, the defenders, they've got to get their units back. They need to regroup, reorganize. There's still a lot of occupations to be dealt with, and let's take a look at the numbers of units in this battle. Still over 1 million for the attackers here, which is crazy numbers. That's just raw infantry. Only half of that on the defenders' side. Seeking revenge, the Commonwealth went down to smash the Japanese armies in Pest. Ooh. And yeah, somebody's pointing out the sheer number of casualties, 8.26 million for the attackers. Who's taken the bulk of that, actually? Delhi have taken 1.3 million casualties themselves, 831,000 for Sardinia, Piedmont. As for the defenders, over 1 million for Prussia and Commonwealth apiece.
Bye-bye, Ming.
Oh yeah, Ming stack there's not long for the world.
Well, there are 2 stack wipes in a row there, but
yeah, that only took 2.5 days for Prussia to stomp those Chinese units out of existence. All right, the Japanese are going for it again. Unless Brunswick kicks into high gear, I think the Japanese are going to be kicking out that Prussian fleet for another sinking. Man, forget the Vasa. You know, you'd be able to ship all kinds of, fish all kinds of ships out of the Baltic Sea now. Ooh, interesting for him to land there instead of there. What is he up to? Well, Brunswick have noticed. Brunswick have mobilized. I wonder if Japan got the wrong port there. Oh, I gotta hand it to Prussia. He's making great choices of battles here. This is where the Prussian army really excels at, right? 1v1 if the numbers are even, or even if he's slightly outnumbered, he can shatter an army. But when they start grouping up, that's where troubles begin.
there's no professionals left in Poland anymore.
And soon no manpower either. Right, Prussia are in their golden era now.
And they took the Napoleonic warfare.
Yeah, there they go. I mean, that's great. Get those forts down, but they could still get another one. All right, they have improved. They got the better artillery. They've got that. They got their Prussian stuff. But I reckon they'd want forced march now to be able to do that more and keep their mill points at bay. I didn't really check the tech at all around here. Anybody that doesn't have military tech 26 is going to be dragging them down because it's a huge amount of morale and new units. But it looks like most have it.
Russia's 10.4, 10.5 more.
That's crazy. That means they are just not going to leave the fight. Not until they're completely ravaged. Well, speaking of, the Commonwealth just won big in Brest. Or Brześć, whatever that province is.
Yeah, but there's more reinforcements now.
They've been feeding them in piecemeal for too long. And now they got people running away. I wonder if the Brazilians will be able to make the difference there. Are they going to march in? Doesn't look like they are. This is a victory handed to the Commonwealth here. How do you like our marshes, says the French. Of course, that was a fight in the marsh. He enjoyed the defender.
Oh, a Brunswick army is getting hammered in the south instead. By the Ming.
Yeah, Ming's... Took a while for the Ming to become a decent force on land again, but that mandate's looking good. Somebody in chat is saying that the coalition are taking horrible fights. It is not a trivial thing to organize so many players in a fight like this, especially when nobody's in the office. We're all well, other than 2 of us here right now. Yeah, I've even got Nurgle pointing out 2. Although it looks like it's just kind of like lazy. I'm just seeing this from Nurgle through the glass box right now. Anyway, they're all playing from home, and it can be hell on high water to organize such fight, especially when everything can change in a few days in the game. Big fight against the Prussians becomes, oh god, we're being intercepted by the Commonwealth, and you need to grab exactly 5 countries who are in position to deal with it. Oh, Groogy is asking for the white peace. Then again, has Australia even been involved in this war? I haven't seen them do anything. Their war participation is 0% with 2.0 points, which I think is I think that's like what you get by default.
It sounds like a bug. Shouldn't it be 4%?
Oh, he's saying don't look. It's hard to miss those white peace offers from Australia, Groog. Alright, Andalusia. I've seen a surprising lack of Andalusia, but I think they've been more focused on the Sardinia-Piedmont frontier. That said, they go in and, oh wow, they don't hold a candle to those Prussians or even those Saxons right now. That Prussian morale is intense. Morale doesn't just let you stay there longer, it also increases morale damage, and oh, good heavens, that was a wipe and a half. Krakow is not falling today. Between them, Krakow and Warsaw have held up to everything the attackers can throw, and throw they do.
And press F for Commonwealth. No, I missed it. I read something.
Well, I'm still seeing him getting crushed by hundreds upon thousands of East Asians here.
They have a new army, the Commonwealth.
Okay, I think he got a little too cocky about his marshes. Well, maybe. See if he can play his cards right here. But we have more reinforcements coming in from the Delhi. The Papal State is intercepting the Prussians, not allowing them to reinforce in that big battle. Great call. It allows Delhi and reinforcements to arrive. Oh, the Prussians arrive from the north. Just when you think you've thought of everything. Oh, but that was great. They forced the retreat to the Commonwealth just in time for the Prussians to arrive.
And the Delhi are Prussians now.
Yeah, Delhi's rolling on in. Okay. Nice. Double victory for them right there. The war score that Prussia was enjoying is dissolving away, as are their troop numbers. If you look at the war screen, they used to have 500,000 infantry. Now they have 200,000. They just can't afford to keep it coming in.
An army's getting hammered.
Oocha. Trust the Australians, says Caesar Caligula. Alright, well, Warsaw is back under siege. That is starting to feel all too familiar for them. They're not blowing down the walls here. Maybe. Oh, well, no, there they go. They got the wall breached. Very nice. But can it be taken down? They've only got 2 siege on the general, though. I would have thought they tried bringing someone better. Milan has a 3 siege, but that's AI. Can't bring that in willingly. And they're not using Napoleonic warfare, so they don't have that much of a bonus there. But this is starting to look a bit grim for the defenders. The sheer numbers that they can throw up is just not materializing. It's going down and down some more. Those blockades continue to hack away at their money.
Prussians are killing.
Yeah, they're slaughtering in Krakow. Oh, even more slaughter. But the Delians are throwing in everything they can. This might not be too bad, right? They're certainly going to be taking losses in Krakow, but that buys the Sardinia Piedmont time to siege down Warsaw. get the capital of Commonwealth done, and potentially force them out. Oh, but they're turning their attention north. And with that, Sardinia-Piedmont knows it is time to abandon Warsaw. They're pulling back. They needed more help in containing that, so this is a great resurge from the defenders. And yeah, it's 10.5 million dead for the attackers, 4.29 million for the defenders. Is Commonwealth being pieced out of this war yet, though?
Yeah, Andalusians are just... They had like twice the numbers and got absolutely...
Well, they're only on military tech 25. Ideas-wise, they have quantity. They do have quality and defensive, but they're just not able to stand up to these Europeans so well. Somebody's saying this is the 30 Years' War. Well, not quite yet. It's only been raging on for 17 years. And pretty much most of this session, in fact. I wonder if he will... if they gave Commonwealth a peace offer, would Commonwealth take it? Can they even give them a peace offer? Because it could be that Austria demands that Commonwealth be forced to cede land to them. But if they cut the Commonwealth out, that would be a big... Why are we looking at Australia's wars? To heck with that. I mean, Commonwealth are bringing in over 100... They're bringing in about a third of the troops here, in general.
They have 60% war score against the Commonwealth, so...
Yeah, they should definitely be taking them on then. They should be piecing them out, getting them out of this war. Because the longer it drags on, the less likely I think the attackers are going to keep everything together. And yeah, just getting those Commonwealth troops out would be an enormous change of flow for everything. Bloody in chat is saying that Austria is in no position to make any demands. That's harsh. Not untrue, but harsh.
See them on the map.
And listen, there are a lot more Austrians, a lot more Austrias on the map than there are Commonwealths. Commonwealth's marching in to slaughter the Chinese, but they're forced to retreat themselves because in came Brazilians and Nepalese. Good call for Vijayanagar to form Nepal, get some great ideas, fight really hard for it. There's Sardinia-Piedmont to catch some more Commonwealths and get them lots of reinforcements. They pull out, leaving the Prussians alone to fight and to die. And yeah, Commonwealth are minus 66 war score. It is beyond me why the Pope does not force the Commonwealth out. This is the ideal time to do it, and that will corner Brunswick and Saxony and Prussia. Prussia is enjoying loads of rebellions right now. Seems like Swedish separatists, Finnish separatists, Prussian peasants, and this is Japanese occupation doing that, right? Really ruffling the feathers of those Swedes, not happy with the German yoke. But again, Commonwealth not being sent any terms. Not that I'm sure he'd accept terms at this point, but James, that's a lot of Milanese. They're doing all right.
I would just stab at them for like 2 or 3 provinces in the south.
Because getting them out would change the flow. This has been a very even war for a long time, but if they just get them out, they'll suddenly only have to fight 2/3 of an enemy instead of everything. Once again, it's all culminating in Warsaw, but I think this is not a time that Warsaw is going to be holding. They might have a lot of reinforcements coming in on their side, but on the attacker's side, we got Ming, Sardinia-Piedmont, Brazil, hundreds of thousands willing to pour in, and Leo the 10th of the Papal State is leading this, practically led by God.
It's a master of arms, 10 combat ability.
Yeah, and for that, there we go. You need that to offset against the Prussian power. So that means Warsaw may not last much longer. Defenders are running to the winds. And with Warsaw, they could really dictate terms on Commonwealth, and they should be. Yeah, Brunswick, Saxony, Prussia, they still need to get their armies reinforced before they can start thinking about going in again. So yeah, Battle Pope. Battle Pope leading 500,000 men on the siege of Warsaw. Pizzicato just says, "What does the world want?"
See it burn.
Sankey is chiming in, saying why Brazil's in. He says, "I like big battles, and I cannot lie." I mean, Brazil has been charging in with the hundreds of thousands. In fact, we should get some honourable mentions for people that have brought huge numbers of troops to fight and die here. 500,000 for Milan, over 1 million for the Pope. Right, who's in the millions club? The Pope, Sardinia, Piedmont, Brazil. Delhi's underflowed or overflowed, so he's brought in over 2 million casualties. Good grief. Benin's almost up there with 1 million, as is Prussia and Commonwealth. The Millionaires Club's pretty high. Warsaw persists somehow.
85%. It's like...
Yeah, come on, you know the Poles are not happy to just let Warsaw fall.
Of course, the Poles and Warsaw is famous for being great at defending.
Come on, 85. Can they do it? There we go. Congratulations, Poles. You held out a hell of a long time, but Warsaw is down. The attackers have got just that extra bit of edge over the Commonwealth, who is now at minus 74 war score. They can boot the Commonwealth out. It's just a question of if they will. Because I imagine quite a few of the ones that are fighting, they don't have a problem with Prussia or Brunswick or Saxony, but they have a problem with the Commonwealth. Hungary certainly didn't like losing Slovakia. Austria didn't like losing Austria. And the Commonwealth has intervened in a lot of wars. Now, it has often been wars where the Commonwealth felt it was unjust, but it can still earn you enemies.
Yeah, they kept like all of these countries high ambitions, but the only countries who can like get something from these is like, border adjustments for Sardinia, of Saxony maybe, Commonwealth to Austria, or Britain getting Brunswick, and then I don't know who can get and hold stuff of Prussia.
Oh, I think Japan would be weighing in for that if they can.
Some islands there.
Yeah, I wonder if any of these rebels are going to defect from Prussia anytime soon. They've been carpeted up there for quite a while. Livonians. Oh, the Sami. The Sami are going to break free next month. So will the Finns. Finns are going to be out there in 3 months. So Prussia's north could be jeopardized here. Apparently, according to Daniel, this has been the most crazy Diplo talks he's had in any out of any previous dev clashes. Okay. Oh well. Yeah, Krakow just didn't have the holding power that Warsaw did, and for this, the Commonwealth are in a bit of a state. Not seeing them getting any peace offers, but you know what I do see? I see Sapmi on the map. And James, that's a bit more provinces than they ever normally get. Good job, Sapmi.
Battle in Prussia.
Yeah, okay, they're finally pushing into Prussia. Prussia hasn't had to field any of these battles yet. They haven't had to eat the devastation, but the Commonwealth certainly has. So here we go. I think the defenders are going to put up an even firmer defense now, since it's closing in harder on them. But with the attackers able to coordinate their units into a surgical strike like this on Prussia, they're bringing in more numbers than they ever did before. Look at that, over 1 million men in a single battle in this place I've never even heard of. Down they go, and welcome Finns to the map. Finland is back.
Up, man.
Oh man, if I was Japan, I would be no-CBing the... Oh crap, Japan did! Japan has immediately attacked them! This is Japan's entry into Europe. He's taken over Sapmi, he's taken over Finland. Prussia, not going to be so safe.
Sweden and Livonia is getting soon.
Oh yeah. Livonia, they're over halfway. Give it a year and a half and they'll be out. The Swedes even closer. Give it a year. Oh, but Sweden's a dangerous one to lose. They still have their culture spread all the way around there, right? Oh, yeah, that's a painful one to lose. And the Japanese are circling like vultures. Oh, even Lübeck has liberty desire and wants to revolt away from Prussia. And Jings, they've only penetrated 4 provinces into Prussia. Wait until there's more of it falling here. Oh, Björn Bay thinks that being in sync is too bourgeois for him. Danger. The Japanese are taking over the likes of Sjælland, so that's going to cut the Prussians off from dealing with these Swedish separatists. I think we're going to see Sweden back on the map before the session is done. And potentially before the session is done, there'll be no Sweden again because it's going to go Japanese. There we go. Japan's wasting no time.
Oh, it's a huge battle east of Berlin.
So the march for Berlin is going to win on the east side, is it? There we go. Oh man, they're pouring in. They're taking multiple battles. Brazil's trying to cut off the reinforcements from the Commonwealth and sending in their units there. And that is good because that prevents the Prussians from holding out too long with all those reinforcements. So they get them beat, which they do. They get the morale back from winning, and they go and reinforce the fight against the Prussians. And the stranglehold around Berlin increases. In come the Hungarians, in comes Benin, in comes the Chinese. And I see cannons on the front line for Prussia, which means out they go. Oof.
And Sjælland is soon falling.
Well, once they have Sjælland, if they can take that fast enough, then the Japanese Navy will completely ensure that Scandinavia becomes Japanese.
Well, they can't march through Lolland. They have to go all the way around because they took Lolland, so they have to go the long way around.
Yeah, and it's full of forts that are occupied, so...
Oh, they gave up.
Oh, please tell me Mexico started a war again. Yes! The United States, the second Mexican-American imperialist war. Yeah. I've never loved Mexicans so much before in my life. This is great. Mexico just hasn't been locked down in the Mobile Bay. New Orleans is getting devastated by blockade. In comes the Mexican runners. Alright, what of the Swedes? Independence for Sweden in 5 months. Independence for Livonia in 12 months. And you know, Livonia has still quite a bit to lose. This land is pretty good. I was hoping it would have amazing development as I clicked through it when I said that, but it doesn't. Let's just imagine it does. Piecing at speed 3 is hellish free information, but I'm trying though, says Wiz. Totally not hoping for the Swedes to break free. Oh, but there's Lübeck trying to deal with that. Lübeck's helping with the sieges as best they can. Oh, Sjælland did not fall. Sjælland was protected by the Brunswicks. Japan is kind of holding it on the land.
Russia's falling apart in the east.
Oh, God. Commonwealth enjoying Novgorodian separatists of all things right now. Yeah, Austria definitely wants what he can get out of Austria here, but the pressure's on Wiz to make a peace that works, because if he can't make it this session, then people are going to talk, and that can make a coalition fall apart. Swedish separatists in a month. Try as you may, Lübeck. I don't think it's going to be enough. Oh, and Japan has it all under occupation.
Brazil is a hegemon.
Oh. There we go. Oh, right. We said it might happen this session, and there we go. There's the economic hegemon of Brazil. They're going to want to build that up. And then they're going to be even more a force to be reckoned with. Yeah. Sweden's on the map. Just like that, Finland is gone.
And the Sapmi. So I think Japan is probably going to know CB.
Yeah, Sweden, already, they are already at war with Sweden. They've already got 7 war score. We didn't start the session with Sweden on the map, and I don't think we're going to end the session with Sweden on the map.
No.
And there we go, the Prussian Navy is getting slaughtered, Prussian Army is putting up a fight, but it's coming down to the wire, just north of Berlin. Oh boy, that's coming down to the wire on both sides, but the reinforcements are in. Is it enough to deal with those Prussians? I don't think it is, but those Prussian infantries are battered. Brazilian reinforcements pouring on in. Those New Worlders really know how to fight, and there we go. Benin is wide open for attack. Are they gonna march on Berlin?
They really don't care about the Commonwealth and just let anyone occupy it because they're not taking that territory.
Yeah, no, I think it's poor Commonwealth. How's their country looking? 8 war exhaustion, but that's ticking up real fast. Novgorod's going to be an independent nation in half a year if they don't do something about it. And Novgorodian separatists are pretty huge. They still have a lot of cores. In fact, they might lose all the Novgorodian cultured provinces at this rate. That's a lot of them, and I know a certain imperial nation that might want to take that as well. It's going to be a buffet for Japan, I think. Just give it a few months, see what happens to Commonwealthy Russia. Somebody is asking about war participation. Could be our last chance to check it out.
Check out. There's offering a peace demand where basically Commonwealth needs to cede shitloads to Hungary and Austria.
Oh yeah, wow. That's... But the question is Commonwealth going to take a separate peace? Well, he won't. He might not have much of an option, right? He's going bankrupt. He's at maximum amount of loans. He's hemorrhaging money. He's losing stability. I don't think they can hold out. And there's the thing, there's no incentive anymore for the attackers to play nice on the diplomatic table. They have Commonwealth where they need Commonwealth. They can get them pieced out, stripped down of land, and they don't have to settle for just what they can deal with Prussia here. Not only that, time is so on the side of the attackers here.
Novgorod is gone, and then they can just get the stuff they want for Austria and...
Yeah, and then there's no reason to stop, right? They can get what they need off of Saxony and off of Brunswick. The attackers, now it was a hell of a hard attack, but the attackers have all the cards on the peace table right now. Yeah, okay, I think Prussia's just... Prussia has surrendered. So the pressure's going to be on for peace. And looking at the time, oh, we have time for this. We do have time for the... Novgorod is on the map. Novgorod has entered the game. And are they going to survive for much longer without a Japanese declaration of war? That's what I want to know.
Sweden surviving. They couldn't take enough in Japan in one war.
And that's a surprising amount of modesty from Japan. But they notice that they've cut off Prussia from the rest of it. Speaking of Prussia and being cut, I don't think Jerusalem's paying for their fleet. They got massacred there. Yeah, Japanese Scandinavia, who would have thought? It's not quite Italy, but, you know, it's a dangerous position to be if you are Italian, because now the Japanese can just stroll across one continent instead of 3. Switzerland wants a decent peace offer, says Starnan. Obviously, Starnan's not too thrilled with what happened to his old nation. Would be a big reason why Ming got involved here.
Commonwealth is soon getting pieced out, getting stab hit, so it's like less than a year.
There we go. The Commonwealth is bankrupt, no stability, no admin. The next peace deal is a forced one. The Commonwealth is about to lose big time to Austria and Hungary. Oh, there we go. Commonwealth is down. I repeat, Commonwealth is down. They have lost an area to Austria. They've lost an area to Hungary. Not the entire area, though. Although they did lose the gold province out of it. They've lost Novgorod. Novgorod is not under attack by the Japanese, which I am very surprised by. If I were the Kaiser, I would be having the all-you-can-eat on on independent nations now. However, it would be
Expansion is high. And
oh yeah, he's probably not in the best position for that, is it? Oh yeah, he's over his governing capacity on top of things. That's not going to work too well for him.
So I don't know what they're doing now. It's like, are they gobbling up?
They're probably trying to push through Saxony and Brunswick as fast as possible. But all the while there is a they might be going for the occupations, because you need to occupy the stuff if you want it in the peace table.
It's like Britain want their shit back.
We're talking as quickly as we can. People just can't decide. Offers are incoming. Okay, well, if we tag over to Prussia, we'll be able to see what the peace deal is up first. But let's have a last look at the war summary, 'cause it'll give us an idea of the numbers, people involved. I don't think we can read through all of this, so I'm sure people can screenshot this and dissect it later on, especially on the official forum thread we have for the Dev Clash. But we have got all the people with their participations involved, their losses, the numbers that they currently have. But holy moly, the losses that were taken in this war. I mean, I swear we've had runs where this has been total losses, and this is just from one giant war.
The MVP is Delhi.
Delhi brought so much fight. And yeah, they took so many hits for that. 1.3 million. Oh wait, no, I'm looking at the wrong one here. I'm looking at Brazil, who did bring a lot of fight. But I chalk Delhi up at having burned 3 million soldiers in this war. Because their losses have overflowed. So they've made 2 million losses, and then probably another million for the way that's gone. Crazy. But Delhi's probably been keen to show...
The Saxons are defeating the Sardinian Piedmont.
Yeah, I think they're not happy with hanging around here too long. Oh, peace offer from Hungary. Hungary will pay money to Prussia and its allies. What? Okay, sure. There we go, Andalusia and Great Britain making their occupations there.
He has a revolutionary rebels now.
Who, Ming? Or...
Okay, so separate peace. Saxony is trying to offer peace.
Saxony will cede everything to Sardinia Piedmont. Ooh.
Yep.
Sincerely doubt that Prussia's going to be accepting that one. They need the peace to come in from the war leader, and that would be Wiz. What's happening to Sweden? Oh, Ming! Ming is doing their Ming-Swedish imperialist war. So it looks like we're going to have the Far East coming to the Far West. Also, Mexico looks a bit healthier. Good heavens, Mexico. There was no holds barred on that.
Saxony is getting a Pope are sending peace offer for the Saxony to cede all of the shit and lose a lot Saxony in this war.
Yeah, I'm not sure if Saxony has much to push against that, but they are holding on to the lands not too badly. They've kicked Andalusia and Great Britain out of Brittany a couple of times now. Somebody's saying that's what the US gets for their betrayal. The US is looking horribly cornered right now, and on top of that, Mexico keep colonizing. There's nothing the US can do about it. This is the most beautiful Mexico I have seen. In game and real life, that is fantastic.
And Japan gave them all the original territory in Mexico.
Nice. Yeah, Japan supports Mexican independence. Reaper in chat is saying that this is a hug box getting killed by a bigger hug box. There's a huge difference between a coalition and a hug box. This coalition will not survive into next session. And in fact, it won't survive anymore. The war is over. What has happened? What has concluded? Looks like 5 provinces over here for Sardinia Piedmont. Brunswick came away smelling like roses. I don't think they lost anything there.
Pope got shut. They got northern. Japan got Japan and papacy got stuff in north, and Great Britain. Papacy is selling stuff to Great Britain.
Okay, I was about to say how funny that the Pope would get all of that stuff for themselves, but they couldn't give it to Great Britain because he hadn't occupied it, I imagine. Hey, the Kiel Canal gets taken over. But that has really curbed Prussian power, right? He's still got all his strength and ideas and stuff, but the amount of units that he can bring with that has been severely diminished. The Commonwealth, they're probably going to want to jump on getting Novgorod back, but the Commonwealth haven't been hurt so much in their military capability. The Commonwealth has been gimped in terms of score. Their score is still going down because they lost their victory cards. Their gain has been crippled. And out of that, Delhi, Japan, Brazil, those are the 3 that are currently poised for trophies unless something else comes in. Delhi have certainly fought to earn it. Japan, they have certainly done something for it, but they won't get the trophy of my heart until they make good on their claims on Italy. Great Britain's getting Denmark, an interesting trade for France. I don't know what I'd value a Denmark at, but
You can't lose their claims on France anyway.
Yeah, those cores are going to be around for a heck of a long time. Okay, now Saxons are beating up their revolutionaries. They now have even less defense in depth. Milan might regret not being in this session because they weren't able to really get a voice on the peace table. How were they on their victory cards again?
Revolutionaries and Commonwealth.
Yeah, I think they're going to want to go for that. Give them a new bit of power in these trying times. I mean, that's bankruptcy for you. Was a hard one for them. There we go. Could I wonder if they'll let those revolutionaries through. Then again, they don't have any. They went bankrupt. There's not a lot they can do against it. They are raising an army, but I'm wondering who's going to go for Novgorod. Or if anyone will go for Novgorod. There are Estes in Commonwealth. Are they going to break free as well? We've got Karelians that want independence. They will get that in a few years, but I reckon the Commonwealth can take care of that. At the very least, they could ask Prussia to help them out in besieging it. Finland is a subject to Japan, so Japan hasn't just annexed that. And Ming is holding on to Scandinavia here. They are not coring it. Maybe they're just holding on to it for now.
Papacy is controlling Kiel Canal.
Oh yeah, they're holding on to that. Well defended though, right? It's got that level 8 fort on Holstein. So if the Prussians want to go north, they'll have to get through that. Who was that? It was Mecca saying that the game thinks they're a great power. I haven't checked great powers in a wee while here. We've got Japan, Brazil, Delhi, Commonwealth, Ming, Benin, Mexico, and Hungary. Mexico making it up to great power and sealing the US off from those colonies. I love it.
Saxony is no longer a great power. It's getting a lot of the provinces from Ming.
Ah, interesting. Perhaps Ming's holding on to this for Benin in exchange for Benin's... You know what? I don't know. It's unusual. Then again, the Daniel Illuminati does ring strong in the whole company, so there could be something between Starnan and Daniel there.
Saxony has lost a great power status. And they have Estonia on the map.
Hey, Estonia did break free. There they go. They have a coastline, so maybe Japan's going to jump on them again. Because that's what Japan cares about, getting coastline. You can see it in the lands that he's taken in Scandinavia. I think as long as he has coastline and And the provinces being connected. He's happy with it. Okay, devastation. I want to get a quick look at that, since it's probably not too great for the Commonwealth. Whenever there's a fort nearby, it's not going to be that bad, but the unfortified regions, looking at about 50% devastation, and that is some horrible stuff for them. The manpower is way shot, so is the goods produced, supply limit. It's a grim time for them. And that's the thing, Commonwealth took the bulk of that. Otherwise, Scandinavia took a fair bit of it, but that was later on in the war. The Commonwealth took that one like a champ, and there was a lot of fighting going on for it. More Confucius zealots in Hungary. When's Hungary going to become the true emperor of China? That's what I want to know. Serbia is saying, did they get have you gone all revolution on us? Oh, I think I know what I saw there. Yeah. Revolution ideas are not widespread enough in Prussia to embrace them. We need 100%. We only have it at 56. So 50%, 56 revolution over in Prussia right now. Saxony, on the other hand, is poised and ready. Oh, well, no, the revolution has been put to an end. Aha.
Need a little bit more spread in their country. But I like the flags. It reminds me of one of my favorite footballing names.
Oh, Brunswick. We got it in Brunswick.
Yeah, Brunswick is a revolutionary Brunswick, but they have the Peru flags.
Yeah, an interesting choice for flag for Brunswick. I guess in this timeline there is no Peru, so they can claim it for themselves.
I would be interesting to see if Saxony picks their color, but they will not be able to reach that spread this session anyway. So.
No, I don't think so. I mean, we're just a couple months away.
Europe changed dramatically. I mean, I had so much. Oh, who's occupying Novgorod? Commonwealth.
There we go. They gave Commonwealth the chance to take that land back. They still have the cores as well. I'm surprised that nobody leapt on it. Even if I wasn't bordering that, I would just try to deny Commonwealth power, especially if it was, say, Hungary going for it. Oh well, poor Novgorod. They did not last long, but their Republican leader, David, is not going to hold on. Okay.
So victory.
The VCs.
Great Britain got on Brittany.
Yeah. Well, they certainly want that. In fact, they just want all of France back. You can tell that.
Brazil got them their 4K on Benin.
Ooh.
On Benin.
Benin's a considerably tougher one for Brazil to chew on. How about Benin themselves? They got their 4K on
Japan.
Oh,
in Scandinavia.
Not happening. Not happening. Victory card against Prussia and Japan, says Daniel, perhaps feeling a bit ill done too.
Oh, they Commonwealth won. They got the 4K on Perm.
Perm? Really?
They have it all. No?
No, their one is over in Tyrol. Commonwealth got their 4K on Saxony there, which I'd be surprised if they go for. Prussia got their 4K on revolutionary Brunswick. They wanted over in Frisia. Who else got an interesting victory card? The Pope got his 4K.
Japan got his on Östergötland, isn't it? No?
Yeah, he does. Japan would need to take on Benin for it.
Daniel, you're losing that one.
Oh yeah, I don't think Daniel's gonna hold on to. Wait, what?
Nelly got on Malva.
Yeah, well, that was kind of a given. Wait, on Malwa? Just Malwa?
Oh, the province. Malva.
Right. Nepalese Malwa. Okay. Well, that's. I think the feeling's mutual, right? Nepal got theirs on Delhi and Cuttack as well.
He got on Delhi and Nepal, but I think this is all over. It's Japan's gonna get the 4K one.
Oh yeah, getting that.
I think Brazil is gonna take the 4K one from Benin.
I don't think Brazil has a particularly easy fight on that one. I mean, it's continent versus continent, and I think you have a good home advantage on that. But then Brazil's already established there. Did Timurids get them or do they not because they're an AI right now? No, they got theirs. It's over on Austria. Poor Austria. Oh, okay. Right, we're being told that we have people available for the after talk right now. Welcome, Wiz. Now, you're the man that combines not just great play at EU4, but perhaps the best diplomacy you'll ever see in Dev Clash. Talk us through it, because that was quite the performance.
Okay, so the gist of it is that, I mean, we have tried to fight the Germans a bunch of times before, and each time, you know, it's Prussia. You can't really fight Prussia with anything resembling equal numbers. You have to more or less have 5 times their numbers to even get started. And, you know, each time we have lost, each time it's gone badly, and eventually a few sessions ago we decided, okay, we'll make peace with them. And, you know, we'll have just this treaty. And then within a couple sessions, they started like looking at just annexing Andalusia, which was supposed to be, didn't have any ambitions on Andalusia, but it was still supposed to be sort of our side of the line. And then I got thinking, okay, they're gonna come for us. And then they decided, yeah, they're gonna come for Sardinia, they're going to kill Sardinia. I expected I'm gonna be next after that. You know, once my ally is dead and I'm all alone in Europe, I think I'm gonna look like a very tasty target. So I decided, I see who I can get on board and fight them, and it turns out that was a lot of people.
Yeah, I imagine between them, these powers have intervened in a lot of wars across the world and doubtlessly made quite a lot of enemies, whereas the Papal State has been relatively friendly, right? Brought good news to the world. So I imagine you did as Wiz does and go around sitting people down and talk, okay, let's talk Prussia.
I can tell you there was not an easy coalition to pull together. It was close to collapsing a couple times. There was a lot of discussions back and forth and just trying to sort out all the disparate interests. But in the end, it worked out. And I mean, I know I pulled in the entire world, but we really needed it. The war was not looking good there for a while.
Not only, you know, they obviously had these strong European powers and Prussia, but they also had the home advantage. All those forts. So easy for them to pull a lot of units into a single battle. It must have been pretty hard coordinating everybody.
It was a bit nuts, but you know, all's well that ends well.
Something else that really struck me was that nobody pieced out. Nobody said, okay, enough of this, I'm throwing it in. A lot of people really seem to enjoy bringing the fight in.
I think it's a little bit like everyone's a little bit... A lot of it, honestly, got a lot of people on board, but honestly just sort of putting the German, having the German alliance humbled a bit. Because, you know, they have been basically this invincible alliance for the entire game, and people always like to not root for the overdog, so to speak.
Indeed. Now, we watched the battles and such unfold, but how about the peace deal? That must have been a stressful one.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's always very stressful to try and peace, especially at speed 3 and people yelling, oh, I want this and I want that. So we did peace Commonwealth for, I think, 6 provinces or something like that. So, I mean, he also went bankrupt, but I had to stab hit him, so it was a relatively limited peace. Hungary got some things back, and Austria got a little bit of coast. And then I peaced Prussia and took things from them and from Saxony, but I mean, I guess the big thing was just Sweden declaring independence. And
Prussia lost a lot. They lost like half their country to the north. And that was leapt upon.
Yes, there was a certain Japan that pounced there. I mean, I didn't actually take anything for myself. I just wanted it. I wanted to peace out, so I ended up grabbing Denmark just so I could give it to someone else.
Yeah. But in multiplayer, it's not often the land you take for yourself that decides things. It's
the friends you make along the way.
Exactly, the friends you bury along the way, because a lot of people got buried in that one.
Hilarious to see this one.
I haven't been that prolific this session, and I felt there should at least be one big coalition.
Oh yeah, and it was terrific. It took up almost the entire session, and that was it was a joy to watch. It was good to see some good old-fashioned whiz play coming out. It was Daniel calling it the wisdom effect here.
Thank you.
All right, cheers, Wiz. Glad to have you around, and certainly glad to see the fight that you brought for us today.
All right, I'm happy to entertain.
Cheers. Why is he just sodding off?
Where could you be?